While civilly confined to the institution, Spurs worked in the print shop where the opal was printed. It is unclear of what, if any, role Spurs had with the opal. It was reported in the documents of New York State that a Supreme Court case freed Spurs from the asylum in 1856. Spurs maintained residence at the institution after his release. In the 1857 report of Charles A. Mann, the president of the State Lunatic Asylum at Utica, to His Excellency Governor King was a notice of the fire of the 14th of July, 1857. In that notice, it was explained that Spurs had been arraigned for the crime of arson for the 14th of July fire. Mann explained that Spurs was discharged, continued working in the print shop and the dining room, and as a messenger on the grounds. Spurs applied to be a nurse and was rejected. Spurs had been an inmate at the institution by court order because of a charge of arson. Spurs was discharged by an order of a justice of the Supreme Court. Spurs voluntarily left his post in the dining room and then returned at some point and worked in the print shop until the fire on the 14th of July because Dr. Gray took Spurs' keys away from him. The reported reason for the fire was that Spurs was trying to help them make balloons, and one of the doctors would not let him help and sent him away. In the dining room, he cursed. Dr. John P. Gray took away his keys. It was reported that even though Dr. Gray gave him back his keys a few days later, he was mad and that's why he set the fire to the asylum, and then he went back several days later and set the barn on fire. It is not clear if William Spurs H.S., who wrote Travels of a Runaway Lunatic, published in the July 1857 edition of the Opal that details the 11-day escape of one inmate, his capture, held in prison, brought with 20 others to court, and found guilty and returned to the asylum. There is conclusive evidence that William Spurs was charged with and convicted of arson. There is evidence that the arson was a direct response to an external situation that occurred in the institution. There is no conclusive evidence that there was a political statement in relation to Bastille Day, when the fire was originally set, the 14th of July, 1857. This is Mental American Monster, the Sprawl of American Psychiatry. www.mentalamericanmonster.org